So, hi Tam, how are you this evening?
Hi, B. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing very, very good. It's always a pleasure to see you here,
Thank you. Same to you. It's too long to go a month in between.
Yeah, I know it's too long, yeah. Maybe we should do it more often. But I think it's great. And I think it's great because we give the people also the opportunity to learn and to really get the material.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And I wanted to mention to you that um, Lorraine, we have a follower named Lorraine Gamoncourt, and actually she's a big follower of yours. And she actually wrote to me recently privately and told me that she really uses the information that you're giving to people through all of your radio interviews and such. She really absorbs your work and takes it in and takes it on board. Isn't that great?
It is great, yeah. And I really love Lauren.
Yeah.
She's amazing. And she's doing so much stuff with the show. And it's great to see that she and other people are just taking everything and are just learning and growing and seeing their own experience expanding. So it's really, really great. You know.
Yes.
Talking about expanding, I, I was looking at my life and the biggest challenges in my life, which are really the most difficult, have always been for me where I started to believe more in me and start to have more capacity and be able to do more. I don't know if it's the same for you. I guess it is,
Oh, yes, it's definitely the same for me. But let's go back to you.
yeah.
You opened this conversation. Um, you, we all have been through some really difficult periods, and I know that you've been in a big transition period for the last few years, probably
A year and a half, really.
a good solid year and a half. You've been in transition, so expansion has probably been um, foremost in your mind. I mean, you have been expanding and expanding and expanding in big ways because you've been going through a lot of change.
Yeah, it was a lot of change, and it's amazing to see how much before this change, how much before I had to do this change because it was after a breakup and breakup in several aspects of my life
Hmm.
that I really had to look at my life. But then I realized that when I was before in my safe place, I was like a little me like this. And then now I realize that I had much more. Yeah, something like this. And now I'm much more. And it's not because I put on much more weight, but it's just because
There's more of you to love.
but it's because I now believe and now I know what I can do. But but without having this expansion, without having to try this, let's say like the radio show, without going out and taking the challenge and knowing that I don't know where I go, but I'm going to try this, it will just become natural after a while. And when you expand to a certain level, that's when you really find that you have so much power inside us, and we all have this. And that's beautiful when you can do this.
Oh, it is. And I think you're right. I'm kind of equating expansion with change. I think at some point in our life, we experience a point where something has to change. And it means getting outside of our comfort zone and stepping into something new. Are you on this? Are you agreeing with me here?
I completely agree with you. And I would say it's interesting because there are two things that, yeah, as you say, the change, but sometimes we are so scared of the change that we have to
Oh,
wait that something crashes. And
yes.
I remember this book from James Arthur Ray called Harmonic Life. And he was talking about when you start to put on weight, which is not really good for you. First, you start to feel that your button of the jeans is getting tougher, and you think, "Oh, the washing machine is just making my clothes closer." And then you just decide to go and get 2 or 3 size over, and so on. But you're still getting bigger and bigger, and you know that you have the signs that says that you need to change.
Mhm.
But then suddenly you arrive to a point where you have a heart attack, and then that's when you do the change. And
Mm,
usually people are waiting until we arrive to a point where everything crashes to make the change. But if you can do it more
that's
consciously,
the
it's
truth.
better.
Right. I think you're exactly right. Many people, unfortunately, do wait too long. And then they may have damaged themselves, they may have damaged a relationship or damaged some other person. And that's just unfortunate. So as part of, I guess, our message today, I think we'd want to say to people, you know, if you're starting to see the signs, if those jeans are getting too tight and you can't zip them anymore, and we're talking, you know, we're talking in an analogy here, but if your life is not quite right and you're feeling those nudges, then let's make the change and let's start right away. And of course, this is where, like, what I would call everyday alchemy comes in. This is where we really want to get a grip on our minds and start talking to ourselves that we can do this, I have the power to change and be okay with it. Affirmations, I think, are a very simple alchemy tool that we can use to really transform ourselves.
Yeah, you're right here. Because I think that change is, if you go back to the expansion, and not the expansion with the genes, but the expansion of us,
Right,
it is really allowing ourselves to be bigger, to live at the edge of who we are. And
right.
living at the edge is always stepping also in the unknown. You know, there's this edge and we don't know what is after.
Oh,
And
yes.
of course, when we are on the edge, it is both exciting and we can create passion, we can create eagerness, we can create, yes, I'm going to grow now. But also in the same times it is, but where am I going? Am I good enough? Am I going to succeed? Or is there something holding me back? Or I'm sure I can't do this and so on. And we have always this balance between the excitement and the fear.
Oh,
And,
yes.
and that's really,
I think you are probably there right now with the growth of your career. I know that I am with the growth of my career as well. You know, it doesn't matter if you're going from poor to middle class or if you're going from being a millionaire to being a billionaire. There's that unknown. And I really love what you said, that, you know, you're being on the edge of who you really can be. And there's still another step to take. And it's scary as all get out. And it takes a lot of guts to really jump and make that leap of faith and go and expand your wings. And it's amazing to me how it doesn't matter where you are, but there's always room for more expansion.
oh yeah, yeah. And it's, because anything in the universe is either expands or dies, you know. And dying, I'm
Right?
not saying that we're going to die physically, but inside us, we are going to lose this flame of who we are, and we are going to lose really how we can shine in the world, and that's
Sure.
very big.
There's, I think, and I'm not happy to say this, but the truth is there's a lot of complacent people in the world, people who are just okay, um, not really being full and not really living with passion or with purpose. And it's unfortunate. And I would really encourage people who are listening to really taste expansion, to really try and push through the fear. The fear is the biggest piece that will hold you back, you know. And it's unfortunate to watch people just be okay being okay when there's so much joy to be had and so much excitement to be had.
Yeah, you're completely right. It's pushing through the fear to really embrace the passion. And I think that this is really important. And once we are embracing a little bit more of who we are, then first there's this level of pride inside us because we have done this, and that's something that's incredible. But then we have these victories where we attract more people, we attract more money, we attract more everything in our life, but it's more joy in general, more peace. Because when we expand, and I'm not really sure if I'm right here, but that's just something possibility here, is that not only we go over the fear, but at some stage we have to let go of beliefs and things of our past because we realize at this stage that it's no more congruent with who we are.
You're exactly right. And I'm going to get a little silly here, but you know, I've heard this a few times in the last 2 or 3 days, and I'm going to share this with you. There's a man, he's on Facebook. His name is Dr. Houston Vetter. And he is all about energy medicine. And he does like you and I. He talks about the law of attraction and things like that. But he's a fascinating man. And he literally is a doctor. And he talks about the BS. And most people in everyday language know what BS is. But when you're talking about the law of attraction, BS is your belief system. And you were just talking about belief systems, and your BS and my BS may not be the same. but both of them can be expanded or changed if we so choose. And I think that's such a great way when you're in conflict or when you're trying to work something out with somebody. How about looking at them and saying, your BS is different than my BS, and that's okay. And now you can work through it. It doesn't make them right or wrong. It just makes them different. And so you now can encourage growth and expansion by looking at somebody else's BS.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, and you're also right that BS can be in this situation um, used in both ways, in the way of belief system and the other one, because it is exactly this. I'm not saying that the belief system itself is not good, but some beliefs that we have are not serving us anymore.
They don't serve, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's when expansion becomes key. When you realize and you awaken to the fact that a belief system is no longer serving. And it might be that you're in that conversation with somebody else who has a different BS than you. And all of a sudden you're like, maybe I could look at it that way. And then all of a sudden, wow, you just gave yourself opportunity for growth. It's a possibility now, a new BS.
Yeah, and when it is a possibility, when you're open that this is possible for you, and you shift your beliefs, and you remove or not, you let go of what you don't need, and you create a new one, that's when I feel that the real us can start to emerge, little by
Yes.
little.
Yes. I'm thinking of a question here. Do we know who the real us is all the time?
I think no, we don't. We don't. We have only a very, very small view of who we are, and
Right.
and I think that we probably knew more when we were at the age 3, 4, 5 of who we were than
Mhm.
what we are today.
Oh, that's interesting to think about. Who was I when I was 3, 4, or 5? Much freer, certainly. Not all constrained and grown into this person who has these limits or limiting beliefs at one point. I don't any longer, but yeah, you could be right about that. Children are much more free to think they can jump off a building and fly, right? They don't have any limiting beliefs, and probably that's the way we should all have a chance to look at things.
Yeah, and yeah, I think that yeah, some beliefs are going to serve us because knowing about the law of gravity, for example, is very important. Because you're not going to jump out of a building now. But some of them, and most of them, were beliefs coming either by our families, by our society, by religion, by the teachers, and so on, and the media especially. And they try to keep you small because these people really care for you. But
Mhm.
also, what they don't want is that you are going to shine too much. Because if you're shining too much, it means, or if you're doing too much things, you're expanding too much, it means that, oh yeah, you are doing this, I will never do this, so I am feeling a failure now compared to you. And that's why people really want you to stay in your BS.
Yes, that's good. I think along that same line, by the way, you're frozen in time. I cannot see your handsome face right now, just so you know. Um, what was I going to say? Oh, sometimes when we have expanded, the people around us aren't ready to expand yet. And that becomes part of the problem when we're working on our expansion is that they're suddenly thrown into a lot of fear because change is in the air and they weren't ready to change, but you perhaps were. And I know that I've experienced that in my life, that people around me didn't want to move, and I was so ready to move. Have you ever had that happen?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just happening most of the time. But I think that when we are in this place where we are ready to move and other people are not ready to move, that's okay. That's okay. We can still move. What we will do at this stage, I think, and that was my experience, is that you may lose contact with these people for a while.
Right.
But what will happen is, at some stage, you are going to be an example for them. You're going to
Right.
be an inspiration. And then they will come back to you and say, I don't know why, Tam, but when I'm around you, I'm feeling so good. And when I'm around you, there's something about you that I really like. And that's when you will be inspiring people. So the message here is, if we want change, we have to embrace it. We have to do it. We have to be the change. We are going to impact other people anyway.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I think Gandhi was right. Be the change you want to see in the world. It really does start with each of us being, like you said, on the edge of our potential, on the edge, being willing to go, being willing to expand, being the change that we want to see. I think right now, with so much going on in the world, across the planet, I mean, we all have to step into our greatness. It's a great, great time to expand, I think.
It is a great time to expand. And just to go back to this point we made before about us growing and changing before the people, there was this beautiful quote from Esther Hicks, when she said that we can imagine that our friends or who person you're caring for are in the fog, and they don't see the lighthouse, they don't see their own light, they don't see their own soul or their own power. And we can then provide guidance for them just by us shining, just by us not accepting to go at their level, but staying where we are. It's not being bigger or not bigger, it is just being there, and then they may find, with our guidance, a way to come to their own system. And that's a beautiful gift.
It is. It is. When we can maintain our light like that, it is a gift to the others around us, even if they don't recognize it just yet. We really have to own our power. It's funny because just this morning I was on YouTube, and the song that is stuck in my head is "This Little Light of Mine." Do you know that song?
No, I don't know this one, no.
Well, you should Google or YouTube "This Little Light of Mine" and watch the Bruce Springsteen version of it. And it's this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. And how true, your light may be small, your light may be big, but you let it shine and you let it touch other people, and you're positively affecting the world. And I just think it's so, so important. And it does help with expansion for other people. So
yeah, it does completely. And there was one quote from Tony Robbins. I never really understood it before, but now on my journey I start to understand. Darkness only exists when there's no light.
Yeah.
So, and that's beautiful. If we can be the light for us, for our friends, for our family, our children, that's the most beautiful gift we can give them.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And I think the light on the earth is growing, and I'm so happy to be part of it, and I'm so happy that you're part of it. It's a fabulous time to be alive. I'm just blown away. Because really, we're talking about expansion here today, and right now, the turmoil that a lot of people are feeling, and that government is feeling, and across the planet, it's all about expansion. We're all trying to expand. Our governments are changing, our economy is changing, the earth is changing, humanity is changing, and it's all about expansion. It's all about more light coming into our lives, and I can't get over it that I'm alive right now to witness all of this. I'm thrilled.
It's a great expansion for the world, but I think that only a few of us has really embraced it yet. And as you said before, if we could invite some people that are going to watch this to embrace this and really just take the step and go towards freedom, because you said that when you were 3 or 4, you were feeling freer. You were feeling also that you could do anything, and that there was no worries and nothing like this. And suddenly you are now at your age and my age, and we are here limited with things that we can't do anymore. And that's really not really a way of growing. It's a way of going back. But the more we the more we can connect back to being this 3 years old, 4 years old, and being completely open to receiving and giving love, because that's what they do. They are a love sponge and they're giving love.
I love sponge. Oh, I like that. I love sponge. You're right, and I think along that same line of thinking, it's all really about play. I read that again today. How play is so important in leading a spiritual life. It really loosens you to, I think, allowing more in. When you're playing, you're not. there's no resistance, I guess is what I'm saying. There's really no resistance. And so play is an important part of living your spiritual path. And I think can allow for a lot of growth.
Completely, yeah, completely. And yeah, playing it's reconnecting with who we are completely, because inside us we all like this joke, we all like this connection, and suddenly we are becoming serious. You know, we put a big mask and we are becoming serious, and we are trying to blend in, and we are trying to be like the others, and we just forget that life is a game.
Mhm.
Life is a
Oh,
game.
life is a game. You're right. Well said, B. Speaking of life as a game, I have to mention this. Holy cow. And speaking of fun and somebody who has mastered play and knows about expansion, how about Andy Dooley?
Oh, Andy Dooley is it's just an honor to have him on the show. It was incredible to have 1 hour with him, and yeah, his life. If we for people, I just invite them to go on the show or go on YouTube to find the video. On the video is even better. He had some rough patches in his life, and the way he just turned everything around, and the way he just now is just playing and being in the vibration, and there's nothing more important for him to have than to have high vibration, because he understands that focusing on what doesn't go right in our life, and usually it's only very 2 or 3 things, is something that is going to attract more of this. So it's focusing on all the rest, and it was wonderful to have him here.
He is a person who truly maintains a high vibration, and you get that just from watching his videos. If you Google or YouTube, Andy Dooley, and you sit in front of one of his videos, I mean, your vibration will raise just listening and watching this man. And he really, I believe, walks his talk. I believe he is that high vibration all the time. I think he's a fabulous example of getting it up and keeping it up.
Oh yeah, completely. Yeah, and yeah, and everything about him is play. It's playful. It's
Fun.
laughing. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's authentic. There's nothing hidden. There's no. And on the show we did this game that is really helping to raise vibration. But you do this for 5 minutes, and suddenly you are focusing on what you want in your life. So you're activating completely the law of attraction. But also the way he presents this with this question, you start to make it possible for you in your life.
Ah.
And then you say, in the meantime, I'm still stuck here. We can look at this, but also focusing on what is good in our life.
Mm.
And then we are in the kind of space of gratitude. And without putting all the big words around this, it's just playing the game and raising our vibration.
Nice. So that reminds me to tell people who are listening to you and I talk, go get that Andy Dooley interview with B, because it's going to be good. That Andy Dooley is a high vibration guy and B is a fabulous interviewer. So go get that video. Watch that one next when you're done with B and I.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
this.
Thank you for, having all these guests on your show. Your radio show has really attracted some big name guests. B, you're a prime example, and I am too, actually, of expansion. You have stepped in to your power, your possibility. I mean, you're going places in your life because you stepped out of who you were and you've expanded. And the same for me. I'm expanding and I'm growing, and it's amazing. It's such a feeling. I encourage everybody to step out, even if it's a baby step. Baby steps are good, right?
Baby steps are fantastic. And a baby is not scared to learn to walk and fall on his bum 10 times, 100 times, and still go
True.
up and trying again. And I think it's the same for us. And I would like just to mention something here. Every time I'm doing a radio show, I am scared before. I am feeling
Absolutely.
inside me this fear, and I don't know the person I'm going to talk to. I don't know how I'm going to connect with this person. I don't know how it will be received, and so on. And all these fears are just going, and the question is, will I be good enough?
Mm,
And I think we all have this, wherever we are in our life. But then we have a choice. The choice is, will I back out, or will I just expand a bit more?
right. I have a short story about that because it's something that I've struggled with a little bit recently. Is I'm growing pretty fast within my career right now, and I really have been asking myself, am I good enough? Do I have enough? Can I offer enough? Right? And so I went to a seminar in Texas. I hope I haven't said this story already, but it was such an important moment for me. Um, I went to the seminar, and instead of going in to learn whatever that was being taught, I sat at the breakfast table with the person who put on the seminar. And it was a big deal for me because there's this big, well-known person putting on, this thing. And then the next thing you know, all the teachers of the seminar were sitting at this table with me. And I wanted to run from the breakfast table. I wanted to go. I was scared. Am I enough? Can I sit with these people? It was crazy, but I remember saying, "You can do this. You can order some more coffee." So, I got another cup of coffee and I sat there and struggled through it. And honestly, it was a time of a lot of fear for me to sit there for that. It was like an hour and a half I sat there. But I worked it out, and they probably had no idea that, my stomach was nervous, and and I was challenging myself to be enough and to be authentic and to expand. And I did it. And today, as I sit here, I feel better. I feel bigger and stronger and more capable to go to the next level of whatever it is that I'm doing.
Yeah, because you shared some of your BS also.
There's that BS. It's great. Yes, that's exactly right. I shed some of the BS.
Yeah, and that's really where this self-image that we have is so destructive, because people looking at us, at you and me now from outside, they will think that we are always being like this, but it's not true. We had really to go through a really, really tough journey, and it's not to praise and to recognize this, but it is really also to inspire people that everybody can do this.
That's exactly what this is about. Everybody can do this, and everybody should face their fear. Should is a hard word. You should do this. You have to do this. You don't have to. It's a choice. You can stay in your BS if that's what you want, but I'd offer up, don't be complacent. Feel the fear, walk through it, and expand yourself, because the other side of that fear, doors are opening for you all over the place. And I mean that to whoever you are. And there are a few of you in my mind that I'm thinking about right now, and I offer you to go through the fear.
Yeah, completely. There was also this thing from Tony Robbins in one of his workshops. He said that our quality of life is completely in relation with the amount of uncertainty we can have in our life. Mm-hmm. And that's so true, because uncertainty is always linked to passion, always linked to joy. It's always linked to movement. Mm-hmm. And if we can be in this movement, in this flow, in these waves, in everything that is helping us to grow and to be more and to love life and to find the beauty, because once we're in the passion, we find the beauty everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I had that kind of day today, B. I work part-time at a garden center, and it's so hard to explain, but you can get to a point where your vibration, it's so automatic. You're not forcing it anymore. I was walking through the garden center thinking, oh my God, I must be the luckiest person on the face of the earth. How can my life get any better than it already is? I felt like you almost want to explode sometimes. You're so happy and you're so joyful, and everybody should experience that. I feel I hope for everybody that they get to challenge themselves to get to that point of joy and where you can see the abundance all around you. It's such a magical feeling.
Yeah, but and you did it on your own. So you were with the environment and just connecting with the environment.
Right.
And most people are just trying to get crumbs of this from another person. Mm-hmm. And that never works, really.
No.
And so it is expansion. I think it is scary. I'm not going to put it down. But if we move with faith, if we know that, first, if we accept where we are, if we accept who we are, and then we know that who we are and where we are has been either created by our beliefs, our limitation, but also as part of our journey in life. Because if we didn't go through some of your tough life experience, and if I didn't go through some of mine, we will not be here. So some of them are created by us so that we have a lesson to teach other people. We have to help them.
I agree with that. Yes.
But
yes.
some of them are created by our limitation also. Some of them we do things because we don't feel we are good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly, if we can really start to share this limitation and then know that everything that will come in our life, every single thing, will be only here for a reason to serve us. How much more freedom can you get?
It's just so important. I think we came into this discussion, you and I were like, it's a hard topic to talk about, expansion, but you have said it all so eloquently today, how important the growth is and how important our lessons are. And I don't talk often about my lessons. I have with you before, and you've brought me to tears talking about it, but I've had my lessons in those dark moments, and they certainly made me grow. They certainly made me a whole new person, the person that I really am. I am Tam, and Tam I am, and my lessons are part of me. And I am grateful when I can share them and help somebody else to grow. It doesn't mean you have to give everybody the dirty details, but by sharing the fact that you have been in the dark and you know what it's like, you do help other people. You do. It's a gift if you can share your lessons.
Yeah, because at some level it is why we are here, and at some level it is also, it's our own mission, it's our own calling here to help people. But without living these lessons, we have nothing to share. So no matter how painful they were, they are our gift.
They are.
Yeah.
That's a hard lesson. That's hard. That's hard to accept. That our lessons are a gift, but they are. They are.
Completely, yeah. You know what happened is that I am so inspired these days to write my book, and I've been writing, and today I just spend my day writing. It's just
nice.
Flowing to me. But I finished one chapter, which is so my life, and I could write it now without any emotion anymore.
Wow.
Which is incredible because it just shows that, I have integrated the lessons.
Yes.
And I guess that everybody can do this. It's hard work, but it is possible.
I think you're right about that. I think you're right. When you really can recount it and relay it like that, and in such detail, because you've shared that chapter with me, I believe, you really have integrated it and you've overcome it, and you know why you had to go through it now. You're past the point of pain, I would say.
Yeah, and that's again because I've chosen at some point in my life to expand.
Right.
And some of the choice were kind of forced on me, but some were after more conscious, and it was my choice. And if we can open to the possibility that these choices are always here, at any time in our life, at any moment, and even now, there's always 2 or 3 choices in front of us.
I was told very recently by somebody whom I truly respect in the spiritual world, and she said to me 2 important words that we can teach young people, and by young people, small children. Of course, my book, Molly Kite, is for small children, so we were kind of talking about that, and she was saying, 2 important words we give them is choose wisely. And if we can teach people, and we're talking from 4 to 104 years old, choose wisely. You can choose to stay where you are, or you can choose to expand. But choose wisely.
Yeah, and being aware that we have a choice.
Yeah, being aware and awakened to the fact that you can choose. You can choose to sit on the couch and do nothing, or you can choose to go out and make a name for yourself, or you can choose a divorce, or you can choose to be a writer even though you're a mechanic. Whatever, you have choices. It's always about choices.
Yeah, and the biggest choice we can make is at any moment, no matter where you are in your life, no matter what's happening around you, you can always choose to feel good.
Ah, I love it. You can choose to raise your vibration. Ask Andy Dooley.
Yeah, vibration activation, you would say.
That's right. I love his musical videos where he dances with the camera. He's so funny.
Yeah. So I guess that we had a good interview now. It was great conversation, you know. Um,
Yes.
so do you have any message that you would like to get to people? Really to wrap this up.
To wrap this up, I would say just how we ended it right there is that you have a choice to expand in every moment is a fresh start, and you can choose to expand. And I would encourage you to do so, because the other side, through the fear, is an amazing new life waiting for you at the next level, whatever that level may be. And that is my message to the listeners today.
Yeah, I will really echo your message. And I recall when before I had this journey and before I had this crash, my life was small. I was a small, and the only way I could connect with people was by serving, and then serving, and then hoping that somebody will notice me. And
Mm.
that's not really a way of living your life. Now I'm still serving, but now I don't really mind how people are looking at me, because I know that I can be sharing a great message now.
And you are.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
just wanted to talk about the event with Michael Lozier in September in Ireland.
Yes, Michael Lozier in September in Ireland. How exciting. Remind me of the date.
It's the 4th of September.
Wow, that is coming right up. And everybody who wants to participate in that, how do they get hold of
Uh,
tickets?
they get whole tickets on Facebook as
On
also
Facebook.
the event, or my newsletter on my website, on my blog, designerDreamLife.org. And
Yep.
yeah, there are plenty of ways to get your tickets, but it's for me, it's a gift for people in Ireland, and
Oh,
yeah, it's amazing.
what a great gift. I guess so. And my gift to the world these days is Molly Kite. And I am launching a book called Molly Kite's Big Dream. I'm launching that in mid September. But for folks who are interested in teaching kids law of attraction and how to dream and set goals and let go of the results and allow that dream in, then Molly Kite is the book for you. So they can go to www.mollykite.com and they can get a free gift if they sign up for my newsletter. And I'm not going to inundate you with newsletters. I just want you to know when the book is available, which will be later in September. So go get your free gift. It's an inspirational video, and you can get your copy of mollykite.com coming right up.
Yeah, but your newsletter, I'm reading it every time you send it, and it's always so sweet, because you're always talking about cakes, and it just puts this sweetness in the edge of life, which is beautiful.
Thank
And
you. I think it's important to be fun and have sweet. I really think that nice matters. Not everybody feels that way, but I do. I really feel that sweetness and nice matters, and thank you. And my newsletter that you're talking about, B, is at tamiam.com. So tam-i-am.com. And people can get my cake eater tips. I call them Sweet Life Cake Eater tips.
yeah, yeah. Just before, because you talked about Molly Kite, and I'm sorry for the viewer or the listener. I don't remember the name of who told me this, but she told me that she has your book, the one that was published before, and it's amazing how much impact did have on her children. And I just wanted to share this with you, because she
Oh,
shared this with me, and it was so beautiful.
oh, that's so sweet. Well, thank you for sharing that. I'm happy to hear it. What you're talking about is I released it under a different name. It was called Molly Kite Has Faith, and it's the same book, and we just tweaked it a little bit because, oddly enough, some people don't like the word faith, so we called it Her Big Dream instead of calling it Faith. And so it's the same book with a new title, and I'm really glad to know that it's touched some people. My goal is to touch hundreds of thousands of kids across the world, and so we have big plans, and I hope soon everybody will know who Molly Kite is.
I hope this too. It's just so beautiful.
Thank
So
you.
thank you very much, and a special hi to Lorraine. I'm sure she'll watching,
I agree. Special hello to Lorraine.
and to everybody else that we know. And
Yes.
see you soon then.
All right,
Bye
B. Thank
bye.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye.